Yeah, look, I agree with you. And he had that one play where he got the ball on a reverse and fumbled it and could have had a disaster for the Steelers. He did make a nice recovery. But, he's not a selfish player. He really isn't. I when I spoke to him after that breakout game against the Eagles, he said, hey, if they start double covering me, if they put a safety over the top, that's what I want because it's going to make everything easier for the rest of the players. And I have a feeling when he's on the field now, they are paying special attention to Chase Claypool, and it may be one of the reasons why he didn't have as much production. All right, for me, it's easy, and I'm not going to spend much time on it. Stephen Gostkowski missing the 45-yarder that would have forced overtime. We've seen this narrative, and when you are going to live on the edge like the Titans do, you've got to make your kicks. You need a kicker you can trust. And Mike Vrabel continues to trust Gostkowski. And I guess statistically, if every week there's going to be a kick that either wins the game, loses the game, or forces overtime, you're going to miss some. But that's what the Titans' life has been most weeks. And Gostkowski has to be feeling badly about what transpired. All right, let's get to a play to take a closer look at. Charean, what did you pick?
Well, I picked the one with 2:40 left. The Steelers led by 3 at that point, and they had the 3rd and 12 at the Tennessee 19. Tennessee had used 2 of their 3 timeouts, and Ben went for it all in the end zone and throws the interception that bounces off Juju's hands. All you see in the picture are Titans. There's 4 Titans around them, and Amani Hooker ends up with the interception. But I wanted the Steelers there. I realize a touchdown puts you 2 scores ahead, but if the Titans never get the ball back, you're going to win the game, right? So I would have liked to have seen them pick up the first down, burn the clock, burn off the time, and then even if you get the field goal, the Titans don't have very much time, and they have to score a touchdown to beat you. And it almost backfired on the Steelers, the interception that Big Ben threw. And he didn't have a good game. I'm surprised we haven't talked more about him because the 3 interceptions almost sunk the Steelers. And he does have to play better. But I just thought that was a huge play in the game that let the Titans open the door for the Titans to come back and ultimately miss the field goal. And I think Big Ben was stunned when they did miss that field goal.
Well, one interception was on a batted ball, but the other 2 were in the end zone. The one at the end of the first half was ridiculous. I don't know what he was thinking, what he was doing. They were in range for a fairly long field goal. They could have gone in at the half up 27-7. That was unfortunate. And, I watched that play several times, the one that you've selected at the end. There was an opening there. And I guess anytime you've got a linebacker on a receiver, you take your shot. And the ball was just off. And look, we're talking about the best passers in the world, a guy who's been doing it for years, a guy who can place the ball wherever he wants to place it. He just put it too far to his left, and it was in position where Juju had to reach around the linebacker. The ball got popped up in the air, and that was that. You place that thing just a little bit more to the right, and it's one hell of a throw. And assuming he holds on, it's one hell of a catch, and it's game over. But it just shows you how narrow that margin can be. And we marvel at when a quarterback throws a ball that threads the needle. Sometimes they don't thread the needle, and something like that happens, and it opens the door for the Titans to force overtime. My play was the Brett Kern punt that led to the first interception, and it wasn't a punt because he didn't punt it. He had a low snap. He freaked out. He started to run toward the line. I don't know what they coach these guys to do in that moment, and I don't know whether any coaching ever takes, because he starts to run toward the line. A guy's coming at him, and he throws the ball. Well, anyone with half a brain knows that if you throw the ball in that setting, everyone's going to be illegally downfield. Everyone's going to be. And if he really wanted to, and look, I don't want to be punters aren't athletes. I'd like to assume that these guys are sufficiently athletic that he could have done like a rugby punt just to get the ball past the line of scrimmage, down the field, and farther away than where it was when you throw an incomplete pass or, you have a penalty that nullifies it anyway. So I was stunned by that. And it just, you don't expect to see that. Number one, you don't expect to see a low snap. You take that for granted. And you don't expect the punter to freak out, Charean, the way that he did. But he just freaked out.
And how bad did the Titans special teams hurt them? And it's hurt them the last couple of years, and they better get that fixed, and they better get it fixed in a hurry. But the dichotomy here of, I had just finished watching the Rams game, and you see Johnny Hecker do what he did, which is all 5 punts at the 10-yard line or inside the 10-yard line. And then I go watch this game. Frank Kern was awful. And, he gave up the long return to Ray McCloud that created a short field for the Steelers that they converted there. They started at the Tennessee 17. Then he tried to run on that one, and they were fortunate that Ben threw that interception because they had another short field there. But they've got to get those special teams fixed before they get to the playoffs.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.